Hello friends! I'm taking a short break from painting greenskins for a while to focus on the other factions I enjoy, like the Undead, Chaos or the Empire. As the Olden Demon competition is coming up this month, I've been trying to figure out what I can paint for my collection, and I've decided on the Empire. In this video I'll show you what models I'm thinking about entering, how I came up with my color scheme and what my test model looks like. The rules for Olden Demon state that the model has to be from before the year 2000, so my options are a bit limited, as most of my miniature collection starts at about 1999 with some of the original Mordheim models. For a competition like this, I'm looking for a few things on the model. A well-sculpted face, I want to be able to paint the eyes easily, some metal parts for NMM, preferably armor. I'm looking for metal shapes that are easy to paint. I like breastplates as they are large and simple and have a pretty big visual impact. And an interesting pose. Let's look at what I've been able to dig up from my collection. The Empire Halberdier from 1996. There might actually be too much armor here. The halberd is a bit large for my taste, so I might try to resculpt it. If not for the contest, I could replace it with a modern one, but I'd like to keep any bits before the year 2000 if possible. I think the lion face on the breastplate could be challenging to paint. The face details aren't great, but I can work with them. These came with a shield, but I won't be adding one, and I don't have it either way. Battlemaster's Crossbowman from 1992. I found this at the flea market in Spain, and I think it's very cute. It's missing a feather and half a crossbow. I have replacements in my bits box, but they are not from before the year 2000. I don't know if that would get it disqualified, but probably not, as they're not that important. The face is kind of bad and has a mold line down the middle. It will probably be hard to paint nicely as the crossbow prevents access from below. This blocked undercut is pretty ugly. I might try to cut into it and resculpt around. Bretonnian Archers from 1996. These are classic 90s models I would love to paint, but I am not that interested in Bretonnia at the moment. It wouldn't really take much to convert them to the Empire. This one is mostly there. I would maybe add a feather on top and a slash sleeve. The downsides are the mold line down the face and the fact that there isn't much metal to paint except the hat. It would be pretty hard to add a breastplate as the hand and quiver are in the way. On this other one, it would be much easier to add armor, and I could change the head with one of these from the Empire kit from 1999. Vika Swordmaster from Heroes for Dungeon Quest from 1987. I love this one and I think it could make a cool Felix Jäger. It doesn't have much armor, but the two blades are plenty of metal. The main problem is that it's broken, and I'm not sure which is the best way to fix it. It's a bit soft and probably mostly lead, so I'm not even sure I want to work with it. Maybe my best choice would be to 3D scan it and fix it digitally, but that would take more time than I want to put in right now. Advanced Hero Quest Henchman from 1989. This is my final and possibly worst option. I do like this model and I want to paint it, but I don't think it would do well in the competition. There's not much metal except the iron hat and the pose is pretty flat. Having reviewed the models again, I've decided I will start with the Halberdier and possibly paint another one if I have the time. Deciding on a color scheme for the Empire is possibly one of the hardest in Warhammer factions, as there are so many options. I basically had 3 sources of inspiration: the uniforms and heraldry book, my Pinterest board, and General Lansknecht art. In the end, I really liked this one by Angus McBride. It had 3 really strong colors, but I thought I might be able to pull it off, so I did a digital mock-up and decided it might work. You might ask why I need to paint a test model first. It's because I'm pretty sure I won't get it exactly right from the first go, and I don't want to strip and repaint the competition piece. If I just paint over it, I might build up unwanted texture over time, and if I strip it, I could damage any fine putty conversions. My first step is to test my paints on paper. It's much quicker to visualize color progressions like this instead of experimenting on the model. I had a basic idea of which paints I wanted to use, but I needed to see how they behaved when mixed. On a piece like this with multiple colors, I don't want most of them to be very saturated. After getting a general idea, I pulled out the Spearman from the 6th edition starter set and started to paint. I haven't filmed any of it, but by the time I got to this point, I hated the uniform. It was too much and I didn't know how to fix it. So I started to alter the colors digitally. If you don't know how to do this, but would like to find out, I've added a quick tutorial at the end of the video. Anyway, I went back to my inspiration sources and came up with these schemes. I like this red, yellow, and white scheme the best, so I went back to painting and got this. I'm very happy with this result. The cold blue armor contrasts nicely with the warm tones of the cloth, and while they are fairly saturated, the blue in the armor is very desaturated, which I think is very pleasing. I'm using a fair amount of white cloth in here, as it is pretty neutral. Any more red or yellow would have been too much for me. I also kept the hat dark brown for the same reason. Having done this, I'm ready to start painting the halberdier as soon as I finish the conversions I want to do on him. Now let me show you how to try out color schemes digitally. You need GIMP for this, which is a free and open source software. What you need is a good image of a model that has light and shade. It doesn't matter what the colors are, just that it's either painted well, or zenithal primed, or lit from the direction you want your painting to represent. Once you have that image imported into GIMP, go to Free Select tool and select the part you want to color. I'm going to select both of these red parts. You can be as precise as you want with this. When done, copy the selection into a new layer. With a new layer selected, go to Colors and Colorize. And that's it. Play around with the hue and saturation and see what you like. Many times this is enough, but if you need to modify the lightness too much, it will look weird, and you'll have to adjust the contrast by going to Colors, Brightness Contrast. This might also increase the saturation, so you'll have to bring it down in Colors, Hue, Saturation. This is a great way to quickly test out color schemes. One drawback in doing this is that the initial colorize function will give you the same hue over all pixels, so your shadows will not be any colder or warmer than your lights. It's basically what you get with contrast paints, and that's fine, but important to understand. That's it. Thanks so much for checking it out, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I will leave you with my previous submissions to Olden Demon. Happy painting, everybody!